I'm Dr. Mark Sherwood, and I'm challenging Kevin Stitt in the GOP primary on June 28th. Welcome to this third installment of our discussion of the 27 amendments to the United States Constitution. Today, we'll continue with Amendments 7 through 9. Amendment 7 provides for the right to a jury trial in civil lawsuits. Today, we're often amazed at how an unelected judge can make momentous decisions of national significance regarding actions by either our executive or legislative branches of government. It has always been a basic concept of good governance that the facts must be sorted out by a jury of one's peers. We have seen how handpicking a judge can result in getting virtually any verdict under the sun. With 12 men and women from one's community, the arbitrary pettiness of one person, whether a judge or jury member, cannot be the sole determinant of guilt or innocence in a criminal trial. In civil suits, evidence must be weighed as presented by both the plaintiff and the defendant. It must be done in a way that's understandable and tangible. Amendment 8 prohibits excessive fines and excessive bail, as well as cruel and unusual punishment. So much of what our founders did reveals their understanding of human nature. Times have changed and technology has increased exponentially, but the heart of mankind is just as dark as it ever was. Therefore, this amendment was passed to prohibit and preclude unreasonable punishment. Nobody should go to prison for life without the possibility of parole for taking a loaf of bread. But those who intentionally loot and destroy cities must be subjected to appropriately harsh punishment. In Oklahoma, we will not rationalize this away on the basis of political correctness. What has been allowed to continue in Portland, Oregon, must never be tolerated here in Oklahoma. Amendment 9. Rights not enumerated by the Constitution are retained by the people. Let's consider what are the underlying causes of this disconnect in modern society. First is a reliance on government to be our savior. It was never intended to be, nor shall it ever be. Seldom, if ever, you will hear anyone citing the Ninth Amendment, but we really should do it more often. Basically, what it says is that the government does not give us our rights. In other words, our rights do not come from, they're not a gift of, the government. The Constitution requires government to recognize our basic human rights that pre-exist in and of themselves, which no government can either bestow or deny. The powers that be have no more power than just to recognize them. Author of the Declaration of Independence and the third President of the United States of America, Thomas Jefferson, in his typical eloquence, reminds us this: God, who gave us life, gave us liberty. Can the liberties of a nation be secure when we have removed a conviction that these liberties are the gift of God? The God who gave us life gave us liberty at the same time. The hand of force may destroy, but cannot disjoin them. Let us also consider what liberties was Patrick Henry referring to when he said the famous words, "Give me liberty or give me death." There were only 13 British colonies at the time. There was no United States of America or any founding documents. So what was the source of the liberties that this patriot was willing to sacrifice his life to ensure for others? He obviously understood that human beings are born free and endowed by our Creator with a free will and the right to make our own choices. When it came time for the founders to put together the new U.S. Constitution, they specifically added the first 10 amendments as a Bill of Rights. They had the foresight to realize they could not possibly compile an exhausting list of all these rights. That wasn't the day in which 5,000-page documents were assembled and voted on an hour later, before anybody had time to read them. They didn't list a right not to have somebody walk up and punch you in the nose. Nor did they think it necessary to list a right not to have somebody jab you with an unknown substance against your will. Any such list they might have tried to compile would have been prohibitively long. It also could not possibly have anticipated every potential attack on our God-given liberties. Next time, we shall proceed with our consideration of the rest of the amendments to the United States Constitution, including the 10th, which reserves to the states all rights not specifically delegated to the federal government.